What's going on? It's your main man, Rick the Dawn. Before I get started, and it's a really controversial topic, I got to give a shout out to my girl Diva313, always showing love, always liking all my videos. Hey, Cardi Boy, Crack Plug. Hey, I don't make the names, but anyway, the point is, I got some amazing people that support my channel. Please do the same. If you're watching this, just throw me a like. What is it going to hurt you? And matter of fact, I'm going to pray that Lord, whoever likes this video, I pray that they make $100,000 over the next 10 years at minimum. Is that enough? Is that good enough? Good. All right. This episode is brought to you by the Really Hood Podcast, available everywhere. Also, it is brought to you by brokenheartshirts.com. That's where I make these really cool outfits that I wear during the videos. It is my t-shirt shop. It is free to browse. Go check it out. All right, let's do it. I've tried to prolong this as much as I can. This is a conversation that needs to be had. And everything that I am about to say in this video, it is fresh off the top of my mind, but I've said things similar in other places. I want to show you where to look so that you don't think that I'm just saying these things off the cuff. I have reference material or material that you can reference which support these ideas in a more global setting or in a more global way. First place I'll tell you to look is on my YouTube channel. Search for a video called America Does Not Have a Racism Problem. All right, by yours truly, Rick the Dawn. America does not have a racism problem. If you go to my YouTube and you type that in, you will find the video that I'm talking about. It's probably a year or two old, and that shows you that the things I'm about to say are not, fresh new ideas. I've said these things before. Another place to check is my Really Hood Podcast. You can find this on my YouTube or anywhere where podcasts are available, i.e. Spotify or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever. And look for an episode called The Great White Hope. The Great White Hope. Or look for that episode. You can watch it or listen to it. It's called The Great White Hope. All right. That's another great episode to listen to or watch, which will certainly give you some context about my views when it comes to this type of thing. So let's ask the question, or should I ask you, is Daniel a racist? As you know, he's been evicted and a lot of people are ready. Let me tell you, they got the stones, the slingshots. You got some people from Babylon. Look, Daniel is on. Listen, if I could, I don't know if Daniel would ever see this. It's possible, maybe not. I would imagine that when you come out the house, you go to YouTube and you type your name in. You want to see everything that people have said about you. And it's my hope that my thumbnail will stand out. But again, being a small channel, YouTube just places all my videos in the basement, man. That's why does a lot for my channel. But the point is, Daniel, people are ready to stone Daniel at this point, at least if what I've seen is accurate. I believe in life, we see what we want to see. And I'm not saying I wanted to see that. I'm just saying I have seen it for whatever reason. The point is, all right, the question is Daniel a racist? Let me know what you think before I voice my opinion. Okay, and maybe you already know where I'm going with this. I'm gonna have to say no. Okay, I'm gonna say definitively no. You see, one thing I don't like about this whole racist thing, it just bothers me a little bit. And let me give you some more context, because I know I got some people who are going to look at me as a coon. I hate to say that word, but I know that's going to resonate in a couple brains. But let me give you a little background on me. I went to Malcolm X Academy for middle school. That is a all black school for black young boys. So I'm very versed in my black history. Okay, I'm from Detroit, Michigan. Okay, so listen. No coons here, but the point is, being from Detroit, Michigan, I have a different perspective on white people. Okay, in Detroit, Michigan, if you've ever been there, if you're from there, then you know that black people and white people are kind of like this. That's just if you're from Detroit, Michigan, or you've ever been there, or you know anybody from there, then you might be able to concur with what I'm saying. Black people and white people in Detroit are like this. Okay, it's a little different. It's not the America that you've seen and heard about, because at least speaking for myself, some of my best friends were white growing up because they were just as poor as us. Okay, I want to clear that. I want to clarify that they was just as poor as we was. Okay, now I do realize that outside of Detroit, you got a lot of, it changes. The dynamics change outside of Detroit, Michigan. But within Detroit, Michigan, if you ever heard about Detroit, you know it's bad. If you ever seen it, you know it's even worse than what they thought. or what they said it was. And when you see white people out there, they're just as messed up as we are. So I've grown up with white people, okay, and they were not the stereotypical get back in that house. It wasn't that, okay. And it's talk. I'm glad I had this. I got a chance to see that because a lot of times you learn about things and people from media and television, and unfortunately, they usually pick things that are shocking, right? For example, calling Daniel a racist to me is like it's like the easy thing to call him. You see what I mean? Does he have some racist elements? I think so. But is he a racist? A black and white, he's a racist? I don't think so. And I'll explain why in just a moment. But the point is, calling Daniel a racist to me is like calling all black people ghetto. I think those are the exact same things. I mean, you watch my live stream, and it's very somebody who just tuned in for 30 seconds. It's easy for them to say, "Oh, this is ghetto." I mean, that's just too easy, right? But I don't think it's that black and white. I don't think it's that simple because I'm college educated. I have a bachelor's. I have a master's degree. I even have some doctoral. I went to doctoral school for 3 years. So it's not always what it seems. The point I'm trying to make is you can't just judge books by the cover. Does he have some of that in him? Sure. Do I have a little get on me? I better. Or something went wrong. Okay. So the point is, it's not always black and white. And I don't see Daniel as a black and white racist. Do you know what a racist is? Racists are people who are, they're like they enjoy segregation. They don't want to be around any other race other than themselves. And if you watch Daniel's gameplay, he doesn't stick to that code. Okay, he just doesn't. And I'm going to say something that's controversial, but I don't care. Okay, racism in of itself is not bad. To me, racism is competition. That's saying that, hey, the skin color that I wear, the skin jersey that I'm a part of, I want them to be dominant. I mean, if you think racism is bad, then so is sports, because that's all it is. The only difference is these teams don't represent cities, they represent people. I mean, that's all racism is. It's just competition amongst two groups or two or more groups. That's all it is. When you see the New York Giants go against the Cincinnati Bengals, I mean, they just want their teams to be better, and that's pretty much what racism is to me. It's a group of people who represent another group. I mean, a group of people who want to see their side win. So I look at racism as competition, and I'm gonna tell you, it doesn't bother me. Racism doesn't bother me the way that it bothers a lot of people in these very sensitive times. It just doesn't. When I see a white male or female doing good, I'm always thinking to myself, I can do better, because that's the racism in me. If you want to call it racism, if you want to be that person, I don't think we should change the name of it, because it's not racism, it's competitiveness. And let me tell you, let me further illustrate the differences between racism as we call as the world knows in the way that I see it. There's a difference between racism and evil, right? Racism in of itself, just wanting your side to be dominant, it's supreme, it's not bad. Here's where it gets bad. When you start to harm people, when you start to lynch people, when you start to kill people, when you start to hurt babies and hurt the innocent, that's when it gets bad. And at that point, I'm willing to say that's not even racism anymore. That's just pure, unadulterated evil. When you're killing people, hurting people, that's not racism, folks. That's evil, right? So, so I always like to preference what I'm saying by saying that I see racism as competition, but I see murder as murder. I'm able to separate the two and understand the differences. So when I hear someone says that Daniel is racist, I can't agree. I can't. Here's why. Okay, as if I didn't already put my foot in my mouth enough, which I do a lot. Let's further break this down a little bit. If you know a real racist, and we're talking about the traditional, not the version that I subscribe to, which is competitiveness. Let's ignore that for right now. If you know a real racist, then you know they don't want to be involved with black people at all. And if they do, they usually put on the most fakest personality possible just to get through the 5 minutes of interaction that they have to have with another race. Daniel did not do that. Okay, listen. I knew Daniel wasn't racist from the beginning because he aligned himself with Nicole, and he professed great love for Nicole. Let me tell you something. A racist doesn't do that. Nicole is not a white woman. We do realize that, correct? So it's no way that Daniel could be racist and closely aligned with Nicole. And not only was he closely aligned with Nicole, he was a ride or die for Nicole. You got to understand the semantics here. Listen, a racist is never a traditional racist will never ride or die for a other race. And that's not, and let's also clarify that racism is not a white exclusive club. There's black racists, Italian racists. I mean, there's racism everywhere. So we got to make sure we clarify that as well. But the point is, Daniel had the most closest relationship with Nicole. So that tells you right there it's not black and white. And dare I say, did you not hear what Terrence said? Ah, bit my tongue. Crap. Did you not hear what Terrence said when Daniel read his eviction or saw his eviction speeches? Did you not hear what Terrence said? Who did Daniel hug out of everybody in the house? Yeah, you can make the argument that he only did so because Terrence gave him a vote. Okay, fine. I'll take that. But he still hugged him. Okay, if you know anything about the traditional racists, all right, they don't even want to touch skin with other people. They have some of these qualms that they don't break for anyone. So Daniel doesn't follow any of these things. He doesn't follow them. So when people were saying that, I said that's too easy. That's too simple. Calling Daniel a racist is calling me ghetto. Sure, there are some ghetto elements here. The fact that I'm doing a live stream in my space and it's low res, fine, sure. But if you look a little closer, there's more to digest there. And I think that is also true about Daniel. And look, let's get this out the way. Taylor would rub anybody the wrong way. She's a freaking pageant queen. Look, name a pageant queen you like. I'll wait. I'm joking. No, I'm making a point that pageant queens, they live and grow up in a bubble, and as such, they don't really understand the dynamics of certain relationships. We saw how unaware Taylor was to her own behavior, i.e., dancing in a sparkly dress in a Big Brother competition in the kitchen for all to see. No player would do that. And that taught me or told me that Taylor just has a different perspective or perception of Earth, of the world. And it's funny because she's also from Michigan. She's not from Detroit. She's from, I think, Royal Oak, which is a suburb of where I'm from. Like when we hear Royal Oak in Michigan, we're like, ooh, okay, you must have it good. So at one point I heard Taylor say she's from Detroit or something about Detroit. And I was like, Taylor, no, nah. I'm from Detroit. I mean, I've been there for 25 years before I moved out. I'm from Detroit and I've never seen a Taylor. Okay, let's just get that out the way. All right, and I've never seen a freaking black pageant. Like, listen, okay, she's from a different space. So the point is, she could rub anybody wrong. I'm telling you, Taylor could walk in the midst of some Detroit girls I know and completely rub them all the wrong way. I'm just telling you what I know. If I know the traditional black female from the Detroit, if Taylor walked in and those people had to live with each other, let's say 5 females I know, I'll tell you some names: Mika, Monica, Deshanique, and Toya. And then you just add Taylor as a 5th and you put them in a Big Brother house for 30 days. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Okay. All right. Taylor is going to be hated. Okay. So, and then you also see in this season that Terrence absolutely despises Taylor for whatever reason. And he's black. So the point is, I don't think Daniel is racist. Do I think he has some character flaws? I certainly do. Do I think we all have character flaws? Yeah, we do. Look, he's in a very interesting space. He's in a house with a zillion cameras, HD 4K cameras, okay? You don't think if you were in a house with that many cameras, they wouldn't spot you doing some weird things? Look, if you go watch my episode, the one I just uploaded, what is it called? It's called Big Brother episode 17 preview. All right, and that's when I'm looking at Sunday's HOH, whatever. If you watch that live stream, in the very first second, the camera catches me like almost like wiping something off my nose. But if you look, I'm digging in my nose. My point is, when you have cameras, you catch stuff. Don't go watch that video, by the way. That was I'm just letting you know. But the point is, look, the guy's in a very, but he says something at the end of Thursday's episode, which really made me happy. He says, look, I can't wait to watch myself and make changes. That told me that Daniel knows that he is probably badly perceived by America, not just black people, not just white America. I've seen a lot of white people just tear into Daniel, not only for the whole racism thing, but it's just his bad gameplay. Look, he says that he's going to view his actions and start to make changes. And I thought that was amazing. And you know who else needs to do that? Taylor. Okay. So the point is, no, definitively, no, I don't think so. Could I be wrong? Could something surface in about 2 weeks where he's got blackface on? I mean, Daniel, anything is possible. But the point is, I don't think so. Okay. All right, folks. In the comment section, what do you think? Do you agree with me? I know I sound probably a little crazy, but you know, that's probably why you clicked on this video, because you know this guy's kind of nuts. But thank you for watching. And I got 2 more videos I'm doing tonight for whatever reason. Look, I'll see you in a minute. Peace.